Freedom Squad Friday Night Live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. The boys are back in town. We've been out of town. Jeremy will be joining us in a bit. He's going to be in the chat, chit-chatting and all this because Matt and I are going to go through and talk a little bit about where we were at last weekend and what we were doing and stuff and things. And then we'll get into some discussion about the Bassmaster Classic after we kind of cover Redcrest, and then talk about the results today at the Bassmaster Kayak Series Championship. Had a fan favorite win today. It was awesome. And then we'll talk about getting ready for the National Championship. Now, for those that are watching on Facebook, in the Facebook group, Freedom Squad Fishing, this is the last live stream that will go there. The reason why I say that is Facebook is shutting down the direct streaming from StreamYard and third-party apps to that stuff. So what we'll just have to do in the future, instead of, basically streaming directly to the group, I guess you can still do it to pages, but I'll just have to put a link to the YouTube stream in the group and all that too. I don't know why they did it. I know StreamYard is trying to work with Facebook to work something out, but they haven't done that yet. And I just saw that announcement from StreamYard come through earlier today. But enough with all that. Sporting my new hat because I like trolling people.
Scope and hope. Scope and hope.
Because we all know I don't give a damn how you catch your fish. Just don't tell me how to catch mine. So anyway, enough of that. Redcrest, dude.
Now, hang on. Just to go into that, how many pros did we talk to? And how many times did I make the statement, I don't care how you catch them, I just want to see you smash because I can't do what you do.
Yep.
I said it to every single one of them
that
I talked to.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and that's the thing,
I love
too.
seeing it.
And there's pros that hate it because they don't want to do it. And there's pros that love it because that's what they grew up doing. But my thing is, if you grew up playing a game and, these are the tools that you had to play with, and this is how you learned to play the game, why would you now, because, somebody better than you, younger than you can come, and it's not even about age, it's just about time. But,
yeah.
They all utilized the tools that they were given, and they became elite, the best of the best, the elite people in the Bassmaster and Major League Fishing. And, some of them use it, some of them don't. Today at the Bassmaster Classic, which we'll get into in a bit, it wasn't much of a scoping day. Early, the events earlier in the season are pretty, conducive to that kind of fishing because the fish ain't on the banks. So you got to go where they are. Therefore, you're hoping and scoping.
Hope and hope.
Or
all
you're
right, so
hoping. Redcrest. Oh, my goodness. What a thing.
So what was your experience? Because you have been to the Bassmaster Classic, and now you have been to a Redcrest.
Well, let's tell people how we ended up down there.
Okay.
Everybody knows that Jeremy and I sold our old towns, and we put in orders for bona fides. Direct from the factory. And, Chad, the goal was, we were going to put our order in with Chad as he was getting his new kayaks with him in Austin for KBF. They got 2 PWRs, two rivers, and then we added 2 PWRs to the order. The goal was to have him pick them all up, and then we would go down there and rig them up with Chad and shoot a whole bunch of content. The problem was the PWR became so popular so fast that they basically had to put us on the back burner because they had so many dealers selling them as soon as they came in. So we basically had to get on a waiting list, and they actually ran out of parts. The boat was so popular. And so, like I said, the plan was to go down and get these kayaks with Chad and rig them up and do all this stuff and things. The boats got delayed. The motors that we're trying to use for them got delayed. And they're supposed to be on order, but even if we don't get them in time, Chad's going to loan us a couple of motors when we go down, to pre-fish before the NC. Because, Jeremy and I went back and forth between like the NK or the NK 300, the NK 180, a Torpedo, and like an XI3. Now, the funny thing is I have an XI3. Yeah, so somebody put it out. It's all your guys' fault because of Chad and Gene's reviews. Yeah, they did do.
What
They
and
they
that and us seeing them in person at the Challenge Series Championship with their
Yep.
prototype boats, because
And
that
then
after
seeing
seeing in person
the
was
same
big.
boats with the moving
Yeah.
waters. But I mean, you guys have already heard now why, we've decided to make that move. Everybody knows I'll still recommend Old Town all day long, except for the new Fire Tiger color.
Oh no,
If that
that's
floats,
fire
if
tiger.
that floats your boat, go get you one. They're limited edition. I understand why. Um, but yeah, it'll be fun to see who shows up on the water in one of those things. They have also got a red, white, and blue one coming out that looks like a creamsicle, or what's that? What's that ice
Star
cream
Pop.
bar?
Star
What was
Pop.
it? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Star Pop.
It's what it looks like. I think they were going for like a patriotic look. It didn't. It didn't work. So it's one of those things. But we'll enjoy a little of the hooch we got going tonight. So Liz will wake up off of her couch. We'll talk about her purple people eater. We need to get her on a live. She'll liven this shit up.
What? Yeah, we're good. Okay, so to get back to the original story, you guys were going down. You knew you were going to be getting your boats at some point. And
Yep.
I mentioned that I would love to go down to Redcrest because it's in Alabama, not that far.
Yeah.
We couldn't go to the Classic because it is this weekend and we're leaving next weekend for the national championship. It was just too much back to
Yep.
back to back.
Yeah, and that's a
So,
far drive. Tulsa's a bit out
yeah.
there too.
And you reached out to Chad and said, "Hey, we want to come down for Redcrest." And he was like, "Sure." And then now, I didn't even know this. He told you he got us the exhibitor badges so that we could work the booth with him, which we did. Like I know that it looked like when we were posting on social media that we were just running around having a good time. We worked our butts off. Like
Hell
we
yeah.
really did. We talked to so many people about kayak fishing and Freedom Squad and Catch 22 and fish shops and just kayak fish, because everybody walked by that booth, turned around, saw the fully loaded rigged kayak, and was like, "Huh." And you got questions, and we started answering
Yeah,
questions.
because we were at the end of the booths from the upstairs, arena to the escalators that go down into the main hall. So
Where the stage was.
Toyota was upstairs behind us, along with Bass Pro Shops and all that. And then there was a bunch of other stuff downstairs. And so they kind of split, what was where. And we were like in the direct eyeball sight of anybody walking between the two. It's pretty sweet
It was a
location.
really good spot. And then right behind us
Yep.
was KVD's booth and Kayak Cushion. So
Yep.
we spent the entire weekend with, I'm pretty sure that all of those people that were working in that booth were family for KVD.
Oh yeah, they got to be family because
And
they
were
look like
related
KVD.
somehow, uncles, nephews, cousins, something like it was just a pretty phenomenal setup. But we actually worked. And then there were times when we would go walk around. Gramps would go do his thing. He's got a whole bunch of stuff and content for what he does. And then I worked my magic of talking to the pros wives, the camera guys for some of the people that we know. So it was an amazing weekend. I know we talked about it on the live, but we have a great impromptu actual interview with the Puma, Stephen Browning, that I got a picture with him. And then I didn't know JT was recording. And I asked him a question. And I said, "You like 5 fish or all fish better?" And he looked over it. Swear to God, he looked over and he said, "You rolling?" And I thought he was saying, "Turn it off." And he was like, "Turn it on."
Yep.
And he said, "I'm going to tell you why I like all fish." And his response blew me away. He said, "My entry fee into a tournament is $5,700. And I was like, and he said, "Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?" I said, "No, I didn't think it was that high."
Yeah.
And he said, "So $5,700 in a format like this of 5 fish, if I suck on the first day, I'm out of it. I can't even come back. In an all fish limit, if I suck the first day, I've still got a chance the next day to smash them and get back in to make the knockout round, and then again to the final day."
Yeah, you have a chance to cash
Yes.
a check. I mean, you're not completely because in normally in any kind of tournament, if you don't catch 5, especially on day 1, I mean,
You're
I ran
done.
into that. I ran into that at the championships. I got close. I was able to crawl back into the top, top 30, But you know, even being in contention, if you just don't have 5 fish, you just don't have a shot. That's one of those things. But you know, we had a
Yeah.
blast working with, because what that also let Chad do was walk around and do
Do
his
his
stuff and
thing.
things with
Yeah.
other people.
And
And
get new sponsorship deals or
yep,
partnerships, or so he didn't have to stay at the booth the entire time, which
yep.
really helped him out.
So we took advantage of going down there and spending that weekend, you know, the couple of days at Redcrest, and then, you know, seeing everybody. And it was really an awesome, because right out the gate, you know, it's like I'm like, oh, here's Roland Martin. Let me have,
Yep.
you know, and a lot of people, you know, they diss on Major League Fishing. It's the new kid in town. It's the Expo's not the same as the Classic. They just don't compare. You know
And they
what?
don't.
I absolutely love that fact this weekend, because why? I wanted to meet Bill Dance. I got to wait in a line and crawl on the floor for 90 minutes. You know
Yeah.
how long I had to wait to talk to Roland Martin?
2
0.
seconds. 2
You know
seconds.
how long I got to talk to Roland Martin? For as long as I wanted. I
Same
mean,
with all the rest of them.
it was incredible, because they were just walking around too if they weren't fishing. And you know, Jimmy Houston was running around.
Mhm.
You know, Roland was just, you know, son, you know, and it was funny. But then we all got pictures of KBD, and then it's like we could have got pictures of KBD like 50 times, because like I said, it turns out his Liz, if you're going to register your kayak at the BMV, you need the manufacturer origin slip along with that bill of sale. If you don't have that, you're going to have to get the police come out and inspect your kayak and fill out a special form. And I think
Yep.
that pretty much goes across the board in all states. Um, I was laughing with the boys yesterday. We were in the Freedom Squad chat, and I was like, "Hey, I'm walking into the BMV, and everybody in town is in here with me." But
Oh yeah, it was
I was done 20 minutes later. So my B&B is amazing. I registered 2 kayaks and had the titles and everything in hand in 20 minutes, and it was awesome. Well, my temporary registration and title application, because the rest of that stuff comes in the mail with a you know, within a week or so. So yep, but I got all that done. But all that said, you know, the expo is obviously, it's not as big. It's not the Bassmaster Classic. It's not been around 40 years.
no.
You know, it's the new kid in town. It's smaller, but I'll tell you
But
what, it's a whole lot more personal. I mean,
but it was still
100%.
busy. There were a bunch
Oh,
of people walk through.
yeah, 100%.
And then there was a Cody Johnson concert going on Saturday night.
Yep.
A bunch of people just said, "Oh, hey," and it was a free entry, which Bassmaster is too.
Yep.
So you just come in and walk around, and they were selling everything, right? There was tackle dealerships, there was Toyota, Lowrance, Garmin, all of the major things that you think of fishing was represented there, right? So the pros and their sponsors, you could tell when they were having to go somewhere, because they would like, and they were on time limits. They had to go be somewhere. But when they were just standing in a booth, like Adrian Avena was at the Berkeley booth, right? So Berkeley had a big setup going, and he stood out there too long, but he didn't have a line. And I stood and talked to him for what, 10 minutes
Yeah.
at least. Then I talked to his camera guy, and we were talking about the video that he put out about what he actually does for a living and is not professional fishing.
Yeah.
He is
So funny.
not a charter captain. He is a commercial fisherman for conchs, the conch shells, and selling conchs. That's what he does for a living, day in, day out.
Yep.
So he doesn't, off season, he has one. He doesn't have one. He is conch fishing, right? So they put out a video, and if you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you go watch it. It's very good. If you like Deadliest Catch, it's that, but scaled way down.
Yeah.
So we talked about that, and then I ran into him and his family later on, and he recognized who I was, and you know, he was pushing the stroller with a kid, and his wife was carrying a kid. Camera guy was still behind him, and like, "Hey man, do you know where a table is, and so we can eat?"
Yep.
And I'm like,
Now,
"I don't know." And I started walking with him, and so it was just very personable, like JT said.
how many vendors do you think were there? I mean, was there maybe 40 or 50? It seemed
Like
like so.
vendors, Okay,
Well,
actual
like
we're
I'll
selling
say boots, you know, because some of it was
yeah,
like
but
Garmin,
take out like Garmin,
Lorraine.
Lowrance, take out Toyota, General
Well, I don't
Tire.
want to take them out because
But
I'm
no,
literally trying to show how much stuff there was to actually see
well, yeah,
in
that's true.
the expo. You know,
Yeah, probably.
Bass Pro Shops had probably a full spread with the
Oh,
fish tank,
Jesus.
like 8
Yeah.
different new boats they were coming out
But
with,
they
you
had
know,
seminars. That's
oh,
where all
yeah.
of they had seminars
Yeah.
of the pros
Imagine you know
talking.
the 2 that I watched, the Wacky Rig and then
Yeah,
the one with Chatterbait.
yeah. So they had seminars, but then they had the table where they were doing autographs.
Yep.
You could get into a line and they had a poster, or you could get anything you wanted signed. Like I thought you had to go up and just use the poster. Well, I took my old Freedom Squad jersey and
Oh, yeah,
ran it
signed it
through.
away. Oh, by the way, what did everybody think about the new Freedom Squad jerseys?
Oh, boys.
Were those not legit or
You
what?
guys like them? Because
Yeah.
I know Trey has already reached out to me and thank you. A bunch of you have already placed orders for our jerseys, which just blows me away, but I appreciate it. But no, and they look good. JT and I looked professional while we were there. Like really, when we were standing talking to people, I actually had somebody walk up and want my autograph because they thought I was a professional. I'm like, oh no, I'm nobody. But then Gramps actually had people asking for his autograph and pictures. He got fanboyed on, and it was kind of cool. It was really cool to watch.
One of them was kind of funny because we were literally sitting here talking to a Bass Pro.
Yes.
Somebody walked up and wanted to take a picture.
I was
Matt
talking to
Match tells me, oh, he's famous. You know, he's got a YouTube channel.
I was talking to Jeff Sprague, and we were literally telling Army stories. Okay. And I hear on my good side, hey, aren't you fishing with Gramps? And I stopped mid-story and said, hang on, he's getting fanboyed, and take a picture of Gramps getting fanboyed, right? And Jeff starts laughing. I said, he's got a YouTube channel, and he just chuckled, and I'm like, it's fishing with Gramps and whatever. So I went back to my story, and no, it was cool. Ott Defoe and his wife
but you got to tell him you actually used that with Jeff to get him to say that
we weren't going to give the juice. I thought we were going to tease stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
But, all right. So he spilled it. We are going to have Jeff Sprague on the podcast.
Yep.
I had messaged. So let me go back to the dynamics of MLF and Bassmaster. JT knows Bassmaster pros that I don't even know their names. I know Ben Milliken, right? I know a couple of them. It's changed so much from when I followed that I don't know them. I started following MLF like 3-4 years ago, doing fantasy fishing, right? I have had Jeff Sprague on Instagram.
Oh, no wonder you know so much, because if you're doing fantasy anything, you got to do the research.
Yeah,
and I know.
So
I get that.
So I actually sent Jeff Sprague a message thinking, oh, well, this is just shot in the dark. And he actually responded to me. And I've said a couple of things on his post, and he's responded. Now, a lot of those guys have people that run their social media accounts. He's not one of them, right?
Okay.
So when I walked in and saw Jeff, I literally said, hey, I've been waiting to meet you. I'm introduced myself. I'm Matt Kreitz. I'm OEF5 Outlaw. And he said, oh, yeah, I know who you are. And I said, I'd love to get you on our podcast, after he saw this little kid fanboy on. And he goes, do it. He said, send me a message. He goes, I've got you on Instagram. He said, send me a message. We'll make it happen. And I said, well, I'm sure you're busy. And he goes, well, I'm free for the next few weeks. But you know, I got turkey season coming. I said, well, I'm going to be gone for turkey season too. Right. So we're going to try to get him on. I'm going to send him a message somewhere. Maybe if he's got time next week. I don't know. But it will happen sometime this year. And I've got somebody else lined up that's going to be super cool too. So while JT was working his magic for what JT does, right, and getting, you know, the lures and the gear and all that stuff, I was working the pros.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So I knew their wives. Like some of them, I actually knew who their wives were because of their social media. And so I complimented the wives and said, hey, when I was in the service and deployed to Afghanistan, everybody thanked me for my service, blah, blah. I said, but the real heroes was, our wives that stayed home and took care of everything. And it's the same with you all. So thank you, man, for allowing your husband to come let us watch and do what he does. Well, when I did that with Mark Daniel Jr.'s wife, she lit up like a freaking Christmas tree, and I thought he was going to bust, right? So I complimented the wife, and then he was just like a little schoolboy. And that picture of Mark Daniels Jr. and his wife took. And I said, would you mind getting, and she was like, oh, no, here, right? Super happy to do it. Because at places like that, they're just an afterthought. They're just standing over there waiting, right, for a fan to do what they're doing and letting their husband. But I engaged, like I even told Ott's wife, Jenny, right? If you don't know, they have a little podcast called Ott, Jesus, and Jenny. And it's very inspirational, Christian oriented, very inspirational. And I said, you guys keep doing that. It's awesome. It's a great message. And she took the picture of Ott and she glowed as soon as I brought it up. Right. So it's just that I knew other things that Gramps didn't. And we utilized that as a team effort.
Yeah.
To work things and get things going for the channel. So
we between the two of us, I think we secured probably 6 or 7 different folks for future lives, and they're all kinds of different people too. So this is going to be really cool.
With some inroads to some other really, really cool people, maybe.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil.
We're not going to spoil that one. We're not going to spoil that one.
Because it was really cool. It was really fun. Had to give a shout out to Mr. I Want to Go Fishing with Gramps from Mr. Brian Sparks. Yes, sir. We'll be fishing together next weekend.
Is that Brian Sparks over on Facebook?
Yep.
Go Fishing with Gramps?
So we will be meeting.
Bro. Okay, so here's the other thing. If you guys are going to a national championship and you get the invite to Gramps' house, I'm going to need a head count because I already know. I got to okay. Monday night is when we're going to do our dinner. I'll cook chicken and some sausage and beans Monday night. Because
I got to be respectful because I'm not the primary host of the house this time.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm sorry.
So we'll probably do something, and I'm sure Brian and crew won't mind. But for
I forgot. I wasn't even thinking.
This is the 4 serious tournament, and I get it. And I think Brian's actually second in the state right now in the month long.
He was leading it.
Yeah,
he was leading it.
If for the grubby one, Gittner and him have been going back and forth.
For the KBF one, he's leading it because I'm in dead last right now.
Yeah,
with 3 fish.
Was nice when you had it. Stephen Guthrie wants to know when we're headed to the national championship. We'll get into all that here in a minute. We're going to get Jeremy to come in.
Anything else you want to talk about on Redcrest other than the performance by DC? I've got one other little story to tell about that.
Really, I tell people if you want to know kind of the day-to-day when we're out and about doing the adventures and whatnot, follow us on Instagram because that's where we're in the moment doing the stuff.
Yeah.
I won't be doing a ton of content from Redcrest. I'm gonna do a video I did with Garmin. I'm gonna do a video with NACO. I talked to them. It was really interesting. A new small business coming up here. I think they're from Tennessee I don't remember. Man, it was nuts. And then
base.
It was pretty awesome. But Jeremy, if you're still out there, hop on in. I did see a note from my sister that said, "Hello, brother. Hello, Goober. Hope you're doing better."
What's up?
And everybody over on that side of Crane has been sick lately. I think Jeremy's the only one that's hidden from it. But hope you're feeling better and doing better. And
I haven't even seen Jeremy in chat, by the way.
I thought I saw him in earlier, but I'm not sure.
Oh, there he is. He's going to hang out in chat. He doesn't want to get on.
Okay. So it's kind of funny because he was supposed to get in here because that's why I wore my hat tonight. We were going back and forth again today about the whole live scope, no scope. People don't like the technology, do like the technology. It's one of those things. And it's like I keep saying, I'm making more of an ass of myself just because I want to make my ass of myself over a bunch of crybabies who are bitching about the technology. But I'm like, how unfair would it be if these 19-year-old elites, that's what they grew up with, and that's how they learn to fish. Then I'm not about banning anything. And I think a lot of people that we see in the comments of other places, oh, you need to ban forward facing. You should be able to use it for, whatever. But it's just one of those things. Okay, why would you ban something that somebody has basically, if they're a younger person, that's how they learned the sport. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying we're going to put guys in horse carriages against guys in cars and guys in super speedway cars and make them race. They all had different ways of learning things. But my only big deal is if everybody has the opportunity to use it, learn it, and master it, and it's legal, then go for it, But why would I take away somebody's livelihood if that was a part of how they learned the sport and how they became a pro? But other than that, I'm going to keep trolling on the crybabies because that's all they do is get in these comments and cry, and it's just making Randy Blockett a shit ton of money.
Oh yeah.
So, every time he posts, and Jeremy and I actually speculated today. So the guys that Randy's partnered with is Matt Stefan, who is an MLF, he fished Redcrest. I mean, he's a pretty good hammer. And then the other guy who oh geez, why can I never remember his name? He has a channel and he teach people how to use their maps, how to use their side imaging, how to use their forward facing, and all that, right? But he teaches them all how to use the technology and to locate fish, use the maps to find structure and all this other stuff. And then we started wondering, well, wait, is Randy doing this so that other people think this is just the easiest cheat code and it encourages people to go out and buy forward facing and then they'll go to his buddy's channel to learn how to use that equipment? But those who don't want to do that will stay on Randy's channel and cry and complain?
They get both.
So
They get
maybe we have been trolled by the two best at the game. Because 2 years ago, Randy Blockett had like 20,000 subs, if that. If that. Now he's over 100K, and they're feeding each other. So maybe these are the two just most brilliant YouTubers that I've ever met. Who knows? But it's funny. But I don't care. I got my Scope and Hope hat. I had a shirt idea that was something along this line, but somebody beat me to it.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. Liz, you're staring at your screen now. What are you talking about, kiddo? We all stare at our screens all day long. You can't sit on the shitter without staring at a screen. You don't go to work these days without, staring at a screen. Anybody who's watching, NCAA basketball is staring at a screen.
I've got another cool story too.
Fish the moment. That's right, Michael Bradley, Johnny, who also, by the way, is the guy behind that new fish whatever app that you keep seeing blasted all over MLF and
is that kid?
Yeah, that's Johnny.
Okay. The kid that does all of the lake detail breakdowns now?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yep. So, I mean, it's kind of funny. So go ahead with your other story and then we'll get on to talking about the deep dive app. Yeah, that's the one. I need to sign up for that, by the way.
So we went live from down there, but what ended up transpiring for Championship Sunday, all right, so now all of the pros are there, okay?
Yep.
They're all there except for the 10 that were fishing. And I walked downstairs to a booth, and currently I'm not going to actually say the name of the booth, but there were 7 pros. Ryan Salzman, Gagliardi, Dudley, I don't know, 2 others that I don't know their names. And that's shocking because I don't know all of them. There are a bunch of new ones. Anyway, they're all in this one booth. Now, I had met the owner of that booth Friday with JT, and we talked. And then I went back down, and I said, hey, so get in with all your pros. And I took a picture of all of them. And then Salzman said, hey, here's my phone. Get a picture for me too, right? So I took a couple photos, and then I did the down low with the whole big logo up behind them, snapped the photo, and they're all like, man, this guy must be a content creator or something. I said, a little bit. Hand the phone back, and I get a picture with them, and then I ask them all, because they're watching the big screen on the stage, and DC is friggin' smashing them, got a 30-pound lead over the field, running away with it. And I said, hey, are any of you guys shocked that he's doing this? And now all of them went, no, not shocked at all. It's his home lake. And then Salzman said, he's out here doing forward. He's doing this with his forward facing on this lake, right? In places where none of us went. If he runs up to where he caught him yesterday afternoon, he's got more fish up there that are better.
Yep.
He would be double ahead. If he goes up, if he leaves the spot he's at right now and goes up the river to where he's got these spots, because basically during the knockout round, when DC got to where he was comfortable, he was literally running to a spot, set down, catch a fish, motor again, set down, catch a fish. It was like what KVD was doing the first day. Run to a boat dock, run, run, right? But DC was landing and catching a fish and then moving on. He wasn't fishing those spots for all of those fish. He was just checking to make sure they were still there. He didn't even touch it. Salzman was fishing all day at the dam. So he was on the backside of a dam. They had 2 turbines going. So they were pulling a stupid amount of current. Watching the boats in that current was crazy. And Salzman said, yeah, Ron Nelson got to this spot before me on knockout round day. He said, but his bite's going to go away because they're shutting down a turbine at 1:00. And when they do that, that bite's gone. Right. And that's exactly what happened. And Nelson was leading for the longest time until DC took over. But yeah, asking the pros what they thought was going on during the tournament was really cool. Right? Because they're all competitors.
Kind of funny because on the last day, when DC was kind of like out of it a little bit, I'm standing there talking to Andy Montgomery, talking about skipping jigs. Pro SP is one of my favorite reels. And then DC just goes on a tear. Goes from like past the cut line first.
Yeah.
And I just look at Andy and it's like I said, he just gets on him, don't he? He's like, this is his lake.
And he's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, man. But it's just one of those funny things too. But Redcrest was pretty cool. Now, if I had any regrets, is that I wished I would have stayed later after. But I was so exhausted. I mean, I was like, I got a bunch of videos I need to edit every night. I'm like, oh, I'm going to edit video after working on at like 8:30, I'm gone, and I'm never had that.
Chat, let me just tell you. Okay, I've been around JT a long time. And after hearing and knowing what he went through at the Classic last year, his weight loss journey and walking and getting in shape, let me tell you something. I am proud of this man because he worked his ass off all weekend long. He didn't just sit in a chair. If somebody came up, he would still stand up and talk to him. But he still walked that whole thing, I don't know how many times.
A few times,
got footage all day long for 3 freaking days. Okay. And then at the end, and we were packing up and helping Chad get all the stuff out. I'm like, do you want to stay? Because they were leaving. And he was like, bro, my feet are killing me. And I said, enough for me. Got his ass in my truck and we drove back to Ditto Landing, had dinner, went to a hotel and crashed. Like we were both out. Like it wasn't even no time. I tried watching the movie on my laptop. Nope. Dundee. So yeah.
As much as I wanted to really stay around and it would have been like 3 hours later for DC to come and get his trophy and all the other stuff too. I mean, it was cool, but it's like we got our guy won. I mean, we were rooting for him and Jacob. Yes. It would have been cool to see him come out and be able to get, have him sign my crush that he had, but I mean, I
got a picture with his mom.
You did. We got to be there. We got to be there when he won the event. That was really cool too. The Classic next year in Texas, we're definitely going to. And and it'll be just even that much better too. But speaking of the classic, let's it was a wild day. I
Do you want to
mean,
cover the kayak stuff first, or you want to go to the actual glitter boats? Let's cover the kayak stuff first.
Cover the kayak stuff first. I mean, we always follow along with the tournaments as they go.
Derb chat today was awesome. We had a whole
Yeah.
bunch of interaction in Derb chat. So
Yeah, I thought, for those who, want to hop in, we set up a Derb chat in the Freedom Squad fishing group, and it's just like a Facebook chat. There's just a bunch of us in there yapping during the day while the Derb is going on. We used to do this like in our own little, Freedom Squad chat, but then, the people who weren't either watching or were at work or whatever, we drive them nuts, and all that. So we're like, hey, let's just, Matt set one up in the Freedom Squad group, and we'll have, people can hop in and out when they want to. So that's kind of what we were doing, but. Yeah, I actually picked Christine to do really well in this tournament. And because her pre-fishing was, she was just smacking them, but she was able to grind out a limit each day. We were kind of
wasn't a big limit.
What's that?
It wasn't a big limit, but she did get a limit both days.
Oh yeah. But I mean, there was a lot of people, that we thought would have ground some out that just, they were short, like John from Creek Fishing Adventures just didn't have a good day one. His second day was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's part of what fishing those big tournaments is being able to do it a couple of times in a row. And that's pretty much what they had to do. So we knew at the end of the day on day one, so people were holding fish and uploading, after the time. And, that was, it was what it was. Some people don't have signal and some people just like hanging on to their fish. But, Guillermo was in the lead after day one, and a bunch of other, top names that we know we're knocking on the door in the top 10, top 15 within reach. And then, day two, it was just back and forth and watching limits get filled and then who can find the big fish. But in the end, it was Mr. Drew Gregory, former Bassmaster Kayak Series Angler of the Year, getting the trophy. Now, this was pretty cool. So last year, Russ Snyder's was the Bassmaster champion, and he was this year's Angler of the Year. So he got to hand over the championship trophy to the new champion while he won Angler of the Year for this year. So it's actually pretty cool knowing that right here on this very live stream, we've had both Mr. Russ Snyder's and Drew Gregory, who have both been a Bassmaster AOY and a Bassmaster Kayak Series champion. So it's pretty cool that we've been able to talk to some of these guys. And that's what I love about the kayak community. These guys are so humble, so cool. They'll come in and talk. And and that's why I tell people, if you go to like a national championship, you get to meet all these people and you find out they're just like you and me. They just fish at a different level. And sometimes you can fish better than them. Sometimes, more often than not, they'll kick our butts, but it's still fun being able to go to those kind of things and enjoy the company of everybody and really enjoy the sport that we all love. It was really cool. It was a really good time.
So I've got a really cool story about that from the Challenge Series Championship for my day too. When my chat, Alex on the water, was really keeping me updated because I didn't look at the leaderboard, right? I posted my fourth fish really quickly on, and he said, dude, you're in third for the day. Now, day two. And I said, what? And the screenshot he sent me, guess who's in fourth? Right behind me.
Was that like Fluke Master right behind you?
No, it was Christine.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, now I'm on the water with these people. And at that point in time, I was beating them all. Right. Yeah. So it's little things like that that give you motivation throughout the day to just keep fishing harder or whatever.
Yep.
And when I hit my fifth fish, my video shows it, but it was very emotional.
Yeah, that's really cool because you don't have to
on
win
the water
it. You
though.
Just know that you got your limit.
Yeah,
and that's pretty awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Well, my second limit is what I'm talking. Like I got it twice in a row, which was amazing. But so these guys doing what they did for those 2 days, I posted the link so the only way you can watch this stuff is on Tourney X, right?
Oh,
and you just watch the leaderboard when they post their fish.
Chad's actually on Facebook. Chad, do you want to jump into this live and do that? I didn't realize what day of the week it was.
Oh yeah.
And we didn't set up the stream. Oh my goodness. If you want to do that here, Chad, we can do that, or we can go live in your group, which I think after tonight they're disabling that. If you haven't seen that on Facebook. Let me
send him a text. Or you want to call him real quick and I can just keep bullshitting?
No.
I can just send you the graphic.
I mean, you can hop in with us if you want.
Just hop in with us, Chad. We love you, brother.
Man, we need to set up a live in the KBF group for him to do that.
Do you want to stop this one and jump over there? Because dude, that's more important, honestly, for what we're doing. Sorry, sorry, folks. You'll have to go over to the other one. But the Catch-22 is a mission that we are all behind, Freedom Squad. That's why most of you are here.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it being the 22nd. I just saw it was Friday, and I was like, "Hey, let's do a Freedom Squad Friday."
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't look at the date. Yesterday was my little brother's birthday, so he turned 50.
Is this the one that's out turkey scouting?
No, that's my older brother. This is the one that just had the first grandchild that flew to Italy for his son, who's active duty. They're both active duty, but yeah, this is my little brother. He turned 50.
Now I know who the winner is.
So what are we doing? Are we gonna kill this one and go over to KBF? Or you and Chad gonna do KBF?
Man, we really need to fire up one in that group just so he can do that.
Yes. It's more important. JT, that's everything that we're standing for.
Yeah.
Promoted.
I know. Let's
all of these people will be over there. So
yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll set it back to come back live here and in the KBF group, and we'll do that too.
Okay.
So,
you want me to stay in here then?
Okay, he said just announce it here and he will post it there. Even
okay, are you sure, dude? I feel bad now.
KBF. I do too. I mean, yeah, but we still need to go live over there anyway, unless he doesn't have time to go live.
He's probably out on the daggum water.
Yeah, I know. Son of a friggin'
river.
All right, so the winner
with his color-coded freaking rods and reels and baits.
I know. Oh yeah, that's right. So the winner of the what quarter are we in? First quarter, second quarter. Well, I guess fiscally it's whatever, but it's a different because it's civilian side. This quarter's kayak winner for Catch-22 is a Crescent Shoaly. The winner is Tanner Blanks.
Tanner Blanks.
So Tanner Blanks. Tanner Blanks was his random draw. He said, somebody said, thanks for going live so they didn't have to watch the Purdue nonsense. Agreed 100%.
It is the Q1 quarter. It's the quarter one giveaway. We're in
it's the first quarter giveaway. So the Crescent, so Tanner Blanks. I got to say the name right. Tanner Blanks. And Chad will also send the message out, I'm sure, through Liz. You shut your dirty mouth.
You take that region armpit of yours and just shove it, Liz.
You know what I do with boilers, Liz? Those big steaming boilers, I flush them. Oh, Purdue's playing Grambling State. Oh, this ought to be a murder. But upsets happen too, so who knows?
Congratulations, Tanner.
So Tanner Blakes, congratulations on your Crescent Shoaly.
We will.
I don't know that if you would be in this live here, because like I said, normally we do the lives in the KBF group as well. But yeah, there's our first kayak giveaway of the season, the new Crescent Shoaly, which happens to be the very same kayak that Drew Gregory won the kayak championship with today at 10 Killer Lake in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That Drew helped design.
Yeah, and he helped to design it too. So you just won a great kayak that is, well, river, creek, tournament, lake proven. So good job. Oh my goodness. With that
Thanks,
said,
Chad. Love you, brother.
Yes, somebody said kind of crazy coincidence, isn't it? Yes, it's pretty nuts. And Chad, if you haven't paid attention, I think today is actually the last day they're letting StreamYard stream to groups. I guess you can still stream to a page, so you'll have to set it up to go to your page versus the group, but you'll have to look that out. Yes, Hook, like we know you have smallies up there in boiler country.
It's not just boiler country though, Hook Life. You know,
it's the Hoosier state. That's what we're looking at.
those are Hoosier fish.
That's right. Those are Hoosier fish
And
swimming
Hoosier
in Hoosier
Creek.
water. It
And
just happen to be near.
monitored by the, Indiana Division of Fish and Wildlife. It's not the Purdue Fish and Wildlife. It's the Indiana.
Listen.
Oh,
we got to get up there. We got to go. We got to get up there.
We do have to go. We do have to. So here's the other thing, Chad. I don't know if you guys are aware. JT's really freaking famous. Okay, there are so many people that want to take him fishing, and then I have gotten like, oh yeah, come up anytime you want, right? So he's made me famous, and like, no, we'll go fishing. Everybody wants to fish with Grams. Everybody wants to fish with Grams.
Yeah, we're gonna get up there with him after we get back from the NC for sure. Honestly, I was telling Jeremy earlier today, I can't wait for the national championship to be done. And the only reason I say that is like the first biggest thing of the year, and I am so not ready for it. I mean, but Jeremy's like, I don't care if we have to paddle our kayaks. It's just, ugh. And that's not even my big thing. I'm still waiting on parts to come in so I can get my fish finder and stuff mounted. But if I have to scotch tape it to the side of the kayak and paddle my way around, which we know we don't have to because Chad's gonna set us up with motors if need be. But Jeremy literally said, if nothing else, we're just gonna put in and go paddle around and be like Matt and just go fish. Said we'll probably catch more fish because we won't be running all over the damn lake. I said that might be the strategy. Pick a spot, stay in it, and fish it completely, right, Matt?
Well, yeah, I hit that little cove a lot.
Hard. Yeah, I mean, but
I have a new place I want to test out. I actually want to go practice a place, and check it out. I've been doing some research on the map skis.
Yep.
It looks like a good area that I might be able to do good in. That way, and it's not too far from where you're all at. If you're going to fish the same place, unless you're going over the other place, and you know what I'm saying. I know we don't have a plan yet, but
oh yeah, I mean, I plan on fishing what I already know.
I know, but you will know a lot more and have access to a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
So, Josh, okay, so it's an Indiana thing, and it's Region 1, and it's the armpit of Indiana. We're not talking about Terre Haute that smells like an armpit. It's the armpit of Indiana up in the northwest region, Region 1, that Lake County, all that stuff up there, Josh. That's what we're talking about, the region.
Oh my goodness. I know this much. I've got to get some videos edited tonight, and then tomorrow I've got to do some work on getting my kayak rigged. The Garmin's not even out of the box yet. I need to get to work.
I got a brand new chainsaw. I got to go cut some wood out of the front yard. I got to mow the grass. I have to put some things on the kayak you're loaning me. Get it out on the water. Yeah. And by the way, Chad, if you're listening, I will show you a video. My kayak literally is thinner everywhere on it. Like I can push on where my seat goes and it flexes. And the one you loaned us does not, or the JT bought does not.
Yeah, but my goal this weekend is to get my fish finder set up, because Chad's son Austin was showing us, and I'm going to follow what Chad and Austin did too. They've got everything basically mounted on their pod.
Yeah.
And I like that because it's easy in,
clean.
easy out.
Yep.
It's clean. Now, since I do have live scope, obviously I'm going to have another, connection to that. But, tomorrow I'm really going to focus. Today was just get stuff done and kind of relax. We got the kayaks registered, all that went smooth. Just kind of chilled out and do that.
Okay. Bass. Now we can cover the Bassmaster. You know way more about this, but we watched it. We had the derb
we'll
chat
do
going.
this kind of quick because I need to get off of here and get some other stuff done too. And I don't want to we're boring everybody right now at this point. But the Bassmaster Classic itself kicked off today. And I know, there's a lot of folks that still kind of follow along. They got their favorite faves. But the lake that they're fishing on this time of year is actually really cool because everybody's crying about forward facing, dominating all the early tournaments, which, hey, cold water, I get it. But this lake that they're on right now, this time of the year, is the fish be shallow. And you get to watch your favorite pros fish your favorite ways. If somebody's staring at forward facing, they're doing some of that. If you like watching somebody skip docks, they're doing that. If you want to see, Hackney skip a jig, you're going to see that. You're going to, it was a little bit of everything. Hank Cherry doing what Hank Cherry does, running riprap, throwing a crankbait and a jerkbait, just putting the smack down on them. It looks like Justin Hamner is in the lead with 22 pounds. Cody Huff is right there in second. Adam Rasmussen right there in third with 19 pounds. Lee Livesey, another kind of shallow water, but can go forward facing kind of guy. Jay Pazurek, a young guy who loves the forward facings in fifth. Fan favorite John Cox, Hank Cherry Jr. right behind him, Matty Robertson. So the shallow water guys are dominating this event right now. Why? These fish are up shallow.
When was the last time you updated your list?
A couple of minutes ago, I guess.
Because Lee Livesey is in first place.
No, Justin Hamner is.
I've got, this is odd. Mine says Lee Livesey, Cody Huff, Justin Hamner is third.
No,
20 pounds, 3 ounces.
Huh?
Lee Livesey has 20 pounds, 3 ounces.
I'm seeing 18, 15.
Wow.
That's really weird.
Let me check the home because I had the Bass Track up. Maybe that's the difference.
Yeah, you can't do Bass Track. That's the estimated guesses. You got to go to leaderboard.
See, I'm a noob. No, I don't know.
There you go.
Okay, now I see you. Gotcha. All right. I'm looking at the same list now. Sorry. I was confused.
Yeah, Bass Trackers, they're bullshit during the day when they're like, oh, it's
yeah.
5.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of the shallow water guys are in the top 10. Ben Milliken's all the way down in 37th now. So, no.
Did he drop all the way to 37th? Holy crap.
No. Where'd he go? Ben.
Well, he dropped down to 24th earlier today.
No, he's in 43rd.
Holy crap.
So he had 5 fish for 12 pounds. He just didn't get on a bigger bite. So, going to be lots of adjustments made by a lot of people.
Here's the coolest thing about this tournament. They have, if you want to see people catching stuff on everything and it's not just the shaky head minnow jerkbait thing, they were catching them on everything today. Spinner baits.
Oh, yeah.
Whopper ploppers, walking baits, swim jigs, jerk baits.
Oh, you know what? I guess the weigh-in is still going on.
Is it really?
Yeah, Gussie's up.
Oh, yeah, it started at like 6 or something, which would have been 7 our time.
Yeah. So I guess that's not even, the standings aren't even final yet. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
But we will be in the derb chat tomorrow as well. We'll have it pulled up when we're not out doing things. Did you get have you had any rigging done on your boat yet?
I got it off the trailer.
Has Jeremy done any rigging on his yet?
Oh, I'm sure Jeremy's got his in his living room.
Good. I'm going to say, has he drilled holes in it yet?
I don't think he's going to drill many holes in anything. He's pretty good at, in the stupid, what I did accomplish today? I put the soft topper back on my truck. I got the kayak off the trailer so that I can then go measure the spacing and then adjust my bunks tomorrow
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna
You got to
do
widen those
I
a
was
little
gonna
bit.
do that before it got dark, and then I decided to go get a haircut, and then Gran decided she was gonna fry up a bunch of fish for dinner. It was delicious. Fish and some wild rice. It was so good. And then, but I did get the kayak in the garage. Um, I've still got to load the truck with gear. I've got nothing done, and we leave a week.
We
It's
leave in
even
a
8
week,
days.
dude.
I know.
We
It's gonna
leave.
be a long.
Are you
It's gonna be a
sure
long.
you don't want a hand?
No, no, dude. I just,
Okay.
I'm gonna. And that's again, you guys know this. When I have videos, I got to edit because it's like I told Jeremy. I was like, he's like, well, you don't need to put a video out. You've been putting all these lives out, and I was like, no, it's. I've got the last video I put out was 11 days ago, and YouTube don't like it when you don't feed the beast.
Right.
So I got to get this video edited. Then I'll have 2 more that will be quick edits so that I can schedule. And then that will leave me to do lives if we want to do any lives, next
Yeah.
week. But that will leave me the next, until we get back um, with videos ready to go that I can then have the machine is fed, and then I can focus on really filming and getting all that stuff so that I can edit my rigging videos when we get back from the NC, and then have all that stuff to edit, and then go fishing after that. So yeah, being a YouTuber is a real pain in the butt
Yeah, but see,
sometimes,
he's
but I
turning down
love
free
doing it.
help chat where he could
It's
film and still rig. I know.
honestly, and I say this, it's just like when somebody offers to help me load my kayak. If you break my routine, something will get missed.
No, I know.
So
I
it's
know.
not that I don't want it. It's just that I don't have time to figure it out. It takes longer for me to tell somebody what it was I wanted them to do than it is for me to just do it. So yeah, you know how it is. But you got to get ready too. So go out and fish and catch some more. You're still in the monthly, so you need to go out and fish and catch some of that too, and then get your butt a cushion, get your butt all placed up in there. So that being said, before we hop off of here, check out if you're at the classic. Brandon's got the Freedom Squad kayak cushions.
He does.
And if you're not going to the classic, reach out to him on Facebook and say you want one of the Freedom Squad kayak cushions. I am now partnered officially as of today with Catch Outdoors. I am now a Catch partner. So I will be rocking a bunch of Catch gear on the PWR 129 when it starts becoming available. So I will be, doing content and reviewing, the rear motor mount, the front motor mount, and the things like that they're coming out with, along with, other assorted stuff too. I've always had the Gramps 10 discount, but I don't think it was on the website. But then I'll also have a link if you don't want to type in codes and all that stuff too. But so then, of course, the Freedom Squad boards are over there on Catch. You can save some money there when you go to order that stuff. What am I missing? We had something else Freedom Squad in there, didn't we?
The cushion, the jerseys.
The jerseys. So yeah, we've got like Freedom Squad boards. We got Catch kayak cushion Freedom Squad stuff. And now we got Freedom Squad, jerseys. Now they're around $100. We're going to be working with getting like some short sleeve and, t-shirty, cheaper type stuff.
So let me just explain that. If you place an order and you talk to Trey, who I put in the instructions, you don't have to order the exact same jersey we have. We have hooded long sleeve that adds a little extra. So if you want the short sleeve, it won't say Freedom Squad down the side, but you can still get all of the same flag logos and everything in a short sleeve version. And I tell you,
who've been wanting hats forever, that's something else we're working on because we want it to be American made. So I found an American made hat maker. It's just now we have to find somebody in the country who does the patches that we want to use for the hats. But we're working on this stuff, while we're trying to get ready to fish in the NC and all this other stuff too. But we know you guys like Freedom Squad merch. I'm not really worried about trying to do fishing with Gramps like merch. We're about promoting Freedom Squad, KBF, and Catch 22 is like our big. You'll see that logo on everything we do because we believe in what KBF is doing with that. That's why we will always be partnered with KBF because of Fish Ops, Catch 22, our fellow veterans, Chad and Gene and the crew that we're all part of. And we want you guys to be part of that too. So I was actually talking to Matt and Jeremy. We're going to start doing like member shout outs as we're going to start pulling in, we always call like the OG Freedom Squad is me, Matt, and Jeremy. And you guys know that we've added like Mr. Army Outdoors. We've added Bobby. We've added my youngest son, John Michael. We're going to start welcoming in other members of the Freedom Squad. And we're going to do it like a week at a time. And the first one that I'm going to shout out this week is Mr. Sly Fox Fishing.
Yes, sir.
So welcome to the official Freedom Squad team. We want everybody, of course, to be part of the Freedom Squad community over on Facebook. But, each live, we're going to start shouting out people that are joining the actual Freedom Squad. And no, I didn't even tell him that this was coming.
No.
He has just done a great job of promoting everything that we do. We know he loves America. He loves, everything that we're about. And he's 100%, behind everything that we do. So each week when we do a live, or every other week, whenever we get time to do it, we'll shout him out. But we want to welcome Sly Fox in as an official member of Freedom Squad. And, we couldn't think of a better first person to kind of shout out and get going right out the gate. So
we had a pretty good conversation on the way home about it too. And that all of us felt that you were worthy, Sly.
No, 100%. And we have several friends that we'll be announcing over the time that are military veterans, that are police officers or supporters. But we're not just going to say, "Hey, everybody." No, we're going to take the time to call you out and show our appreciation for what you do for and with us. And anybody who's been part of this fishing fam for any amount of time knows that Charles has been with everything that we've done with Fishing with Gramps, with OEF 5 on Twitch, and here on the Freedom Squad itself. We want to build this community, and we wanted to wish Charles and welcome him as a full member of the Freedom Squad. So we're going to start expanding and building a community, and we'd love to see this grow to something bigger around the country. We're still talking eventually, maybe throwing up some fun fishing derbs up on Fishing Chaos, and doing some fun stuff that way too. We've got some ideas, and we
haven't really talked about it, but
too.
We'll have another get together this year.
Yep,
because that was really cool. That was really nice.
Because we want to do get-togethers when we're at these bigger events, but then we also want the smaller personal ones too. And eventually, I'd love to get to the point that we're traveling a little bit and meeting other people in other regions of the country too, and having like Freedom Squad all over the world too. So,
Gina, I'll just call him Chuck.
Pretty cool. You what?
I'm just going to call him Chuck. Gina said, "Thanks for calling him Charles," and I said, "I'm just going to call him Chuck."
No, I know. Yeah, it's good. So, and with that said too, it's early, and I really wasn't expecting to be talking about Knucklehead this early in the season, but April's coming. The first Knucklehead events kick off in May. There's nothing special about getting signed up early, but know that in May, that'll be my first. That'll be all of our first, and there's not as many. They've added some teams this year, and then some others who just they chose not to participate. You might have seen a leaderboard or two come up, and then they came back down, which is fine. We're gonna roll with what we got, and the people that want to participate. But we know we want everybody to get in, and I need to start working on trying to find some sponsors and things like that too for some giveaways, because I want everybody to win stuff. Obviously, we know I won't be winning a kayak this year because I won a kayak this year for a veteran, and I'm actually the one that I'm going to choose hasn't been released yet. It's one of those things. Jeremy, I haven't seen a team for you come up yet, so you need to talk to Chad and see if he's going to set you up with a team, because you have to go through his, you got to go through his stuff and see if that's what he's going to do. If not, then we're all going to be, we're going to be putting the hammers to screws to each other. But we talked about that. But I need to see about getting that set up too. But that's one of the things. So keep that up. For the first one of the year, it's also during Mayhem for the KBF qualifying and stuff like that too. So that's always a good one to go out there and smash them on. But So keep an eye out on that. If you want to do some of the monthly challenges, go try those out. KBF has got the monthly challenge series going as well, and you can use that to qualify to fish in the challenge series, the 10, to qualify for the KBF championships, and it'll be pretty cool too. And then we'll have to see how the rest of the year evolves and revolves around whatever, everything in the fishing industry does too. But I plan on fishing all kinds of different stuff. But this year, honestly, I plan on just fishing for a whole lot more fun. I obviously will be leading a knucklehead, and that will be fun as always. I will be doing catch 22 for the bragging rights, of course. And I got to get a kayak rigged up and get out there too, because I don't have one in catch 22 for Indiana yet either. So maybe I'll go scope and hope and find some. I'm gonna go scope and hope a dope bass.
Don't be
Dope.
scoping hating.
Don't be scoping hating. Somebody asked earlier if I think Daniel Pierce asked earlier if Chad was going to put that on a hat and shirts, and I'm pretty sure.
It was Chuck. It was Chuck.
I'm pretty sure somebody was asking about the scope and hating, and I'm pretty sure Chad's going to make that become a reality.
Well, he already posted it on his socials.
With that said, I got some editing to do. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Matt, thanks for joining me.
Hey,
thanks
no
for
problem.
coming on to Redcrest. That was a blast.
No, thanks for you going with me.
I think we both needed.
I got a story. Did I tell y'all I broke his trailer? And then it took an electrician 45 minutes to call the trailer manufacturer to figure out how it was wired up. And then he had to call him back again because he forgot what he said. It was pretty epic. I had to go to the auto parts store twice.
Oh, Lord have mercy. But we now have a super long cable.
It's not going to get pulled out again ever.
It's not going to get pulled out again. That's for sure.
That's the same size as what's on my smoker. Literally.
Yeah.
My smoker one is that long. We added 27 inches to the trailer.
Well, the bourbon is good and kicked in, and I'm going to go chill out and watch some basketball and try not.
We'll be in the Derb chat tomorrow.
Yep.
Send us a message. If you have any issues with the jerseys, let me know. But Trey's pretty good. So
yep, it's pretty awesome too. And the jerseys are super comfy. I mean,
dude,
and they will be very nice to fish out of as well. They're a lot thinner. It's better material than when we had in the ones last year, which basically cooked us anytime we try to fish in them. So we will be a lot more comfortable this year. Show.
They're literal fishing jerseys. Like they're like the. Yeah. I think it's the same material that maybe Columbia uses.
It's pretty. It's pretty.
It's not hook. Hook material is really, really thin.
Yeah, that stuff is magic.
Yes,
but this stuff is the next best thing for sure. That's true.
So,
all right. Well, with all that said, thank you everybody for joining us this Freedom Squad Friday. We'll drag Jeremy in here next time because he was having fun in the chat. If you guys didn't get a chance to go check out our conversation last night with the new Indiana smallmouth state record holder, go check out that live stream. Rex and his cousin Dean, they were a pretty cool couple of dudes to talk to. They've been fishing together for like 30 years. And man, it was a real pleasure and honor to have them on the live stream last night to talk about the new 8 pound, 4 ounce bass that was literally caught out of the lake that I can't stand. That's only 20 minutes north of me. And I'm gonna have to go scope and dope it this year and see if I can't find me a giant. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. New PB for Indiana. That's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it. Maybe.
All right.
I thank you all for watching tonight. We appreciate your time and effort. Thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for following us on Instagram. You guys are always a hoot to we have fun, putting up the quick stories and the pictures and stuff like that when we're on the road. Can't do that so much as we, on Facebook, but we glad you guys enjoyed it. It's always fun interacting with you. If you haven't seen Matt and I having breakfast at Another Broken Egg on Instagram,
it's so bougie.
Be sure to go watch.
Oh, bougie. We had to
and it might give you a tip. It might give you a tip into some future content that's coming. Good night, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next time. God bless.
See ya.